Hi guys, it's RBB. Wanted to show you the Layer Styles tool today. Now this is a menu tool set that you may have never seen before because Adobe has it in a really weird place. So I'm going to show you today by using a text layer. So I typed out the word Chrome and I picked a font that to me sort of looks like it would look cool if it was Chrome. Now I could mask out all these edges and get some shadows and highlights and everything and really make it look more metallic, but that would take a long time. So Photoshop has a really cool tool called the Layer Styles that allows us to, with a click of a button, turn our text layer or an image layer or whatever into what looks like, let's see if I can get it turned on here. There we go. This one just turned on Chrome, okay? So how we did that, holy moly. Could I have done this by hand? Yeah, absolutely, okay? But it would have taken a really long time. So how I got there was if you click to the right of the name of your layer in this no man's land where there's no button, that's why nobody knows or uses this tool, because there's no button for it. Click out here in this sort of no man's land and double click. You may have accidentally opened this and wondered where in the world it came from because you didn't remember clicking on this button, and here it is. The other thing that's sort of strange is that when you use this tool, you either have to deny it or accept it, cancel or okay, and then it closes. There's no way to minimize it, and there's also no way to dock it. You know how we looked at how to make things custom, and when we move these layers around, we'd see the blue line where it could dock and stay open. It doesn't do that, so you sort of have to open it each time, which is a little bizarre. Anyway, so I started out just by duplicating that same sort of cyan chrome, and went up here to the word where it says styles in the upper left hand side. Okay, right here, styles. And there's lots of different options, basic, natural, fur. I like a lot of the legacy styles, okay? And I happen to know that under the 2019 legacy styles is an entire section called Chrome. And there's several different options, okay, of different Chrome looks that might work better or worse with whatever kind of font I have. So just with a click of a button, I have all these options of Chrome. I can make it change to different metals. I can make it look like gold. Okay, I can do all these different ones. So with a simple click of a button, I can change these to look like all kinds of things. Here's one I made before called slime. So it like blue looks sort of slimy. Doesn't look very good with that font, but that's okay. So that's what it looks like with text. So you can type in a word that the font looks like the word, like cheese or slime or chrome or whatever, and then find a layer style that actually makes that word look more like the word itself. Okay, we have to accept it or deny it, and then it shuts itself down, which is weird. So I'm going to open up this little, this set right here and just show you two more options. The other way to access the layer styles is when a layer is active, if you go up here to layer, there's layer styles right here. Now to me that's a weird thing because I would think it would be under filter, which changes the looks of things, or maybe type because it works a lot with typeface, but it's here hidden in layers. But you can just remember the little secret hiding place over here. So if I double click on this blue layer, and double click out here in the space out here to the right. It's going to take a second to open. Why does it put it away every time if it's going to take so long to open? Sometimes there is a lag with layer styles. It's a very strange tool, but it's very cool. So let's just pick something to do with this. So we're on this blue one right here. If we go to the styles, let's explore a couple of the others. So we can make it look like kind of whatever we want to. There's a lot of presets. As I said, I like a lot of these legacy ones. So let's look at buttons. Let's see what that does. All right, lots of really neat things that might or may not look exactly like what you want your thing to look like, okay? And yeah, I could do this all by hand, but it would take a really long time. Let's make this look like a glass button. It didn't matter that the dot was blue. See, I can make a purple glass button or sort of an orangey glass button. Okay, lots of really neat ones. There's textures as well. I can make it look like brick, okay, with just a simple click of a button. Now, if these are close but not exactly what you want, You can come over here to the left, and these options, bevel and emboss, contour, texture, color overlay, and pattern overlay, were all used to make this. So if I'm like, oh, I don't really like the bevel and emboss, I can click on that tool set and adjust it and sort of dial it in to make it look more like what I want it to look like. Okay, I can make some changes, but somebody did a lot of work to make this look like brick, so I'm going to say, okay, that's good. Let's do one ourselves. Here's just a plain gray dot. Again, I had to close it to accept it, and I'm going to double click out here in that empty space to bring up the layer styles again. And let's look at sort of custom dialing in whatever we want. So again, this is just a gray dot. There's no style here. I'm going to go back up to basics and basically say no settings at all. And let's look at what our options are. If we go to bevel and emboss, the first one, and click on the word, not just the check mark, you have to click on the word. I can choose to have an inner bevel, an outer bevel, a pillow emboss. And once I'm beveled, I can change I can dial this in. I can change the depth of the bevel. You can watch it change. I can also see the preview here. Change the size of the bevel. Look at that. The softness. I can even change the light direction. This is the angle of the light. So I can change, notice it works on all layers. I can change the light where it's coming from. I can even change the shape of the drop off. How is that beveled? Okay. And that was just with bevel. I can change the contour of the drop off. So I can make it bumpy. Okay. Or I can make it drop off like this. I can change the texture. If I was trying to make something look natural, or like gold is very soft and has a lot of bumpy texture. So I could add one of these textures. It doesn't matter that this is supposed to be a water texture. I could grab this texture, turn the scale down, and maybe get exactly the look that I want. You know, maybe turn the depth down a little bit and just make it look a little rough. The stroke is the outline, and most things in nature don't have an outline around them, so unless you particularly want that, I wouldn't use that. Inner shadow, inner glow, all kinds of options. We're not going to go over all these. It would take all day. Color overlay. I could choose a color, like maybe I want to tint this a little green. I could choose a green color, maybe sort of like a mossy kind of green. And I could even change the blending mode, which we talk about in another video. I could change the blending mode of these, and it changes how the green overlay behaves with the underneath layer. Okay, multiply is always going to darken. Okay, that looks kind of cool. Gradient overlay is going to do that. It's going to overlay a gradient. I can overlay a pattern over it. I can have an outer glow, so I can make a neon sign. I can make a neon text and then add this outer glow. And this one's my favorite, is drop shadow. By clicking on drop shadow, it creates a drop shadow. So I'm going to make this a little more opaque so you can see it. So this actually remember this was just a gray dot, and now I've made it look like this, I don't know, dented metal something or other. We can make the distance move away so this thing actually looks like it's floating off the page. We can, increase the spread and the softness of this shadow, and I can change the color because shadows are really never black. I could change the shadow to something that looks good, like because red is the opposite of green, I would choose maybe a really dark red, and it would actually sort of offset that a little better and make it look really bright. Okay, so all of these options that you click on, you can dial in tons of little details, and that's what somebody did to create this. So remember, we went from just, well, I'm going to say, okay, we went from just this very simple little gray dot to dial in these cool effects to get this look. So whether it's your font that you want to change and make your words or text or logo or whatever look really cool and like something else, you can dial it in yourself. So if you want your logo to look like slime or blood or wood or stone or water or anything, the layer styles is the tool to do it. So just keep in mind, it's in this secret little no man's land right here. Okay, or if you forget, it's under layer and layer style right there. Okay, so yeah, oddly hidden little tool, but pretty useful and pretty cool. Have fun. All right, be well.